Thank you. Welcome to Thursday Night Football with Calvin Dean, sponsored by the NFL Network. God, we have week 6 going on this week. Oh my gosh. Well, if you were listening to me last week, you would have known who to bet on when it came to the Miami Dolphins against the San Francisco 49ers. Sorry, 49ers fans. I know my friend Nikki up in San Jose. Sorry about that, but I did predict it, and I just knew it. I knew it was going to happen, and I told everyone that was my upset special for the week. You got to listen to me, people. You got to listen to me. And just a shout out to the NFL Network for sending me my Crucial Catch hat. Yes, it's a Los Angeles Rams Crucial Catch hat. And I love it. I just love it. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, and thank you. Why? We got some stuff to talk about today, don't we? I mean, no Thursday night football. None. Because we had Tuesday night football, and it's just such a screwy schedule, and it's so hard to pick when you have a fantasy football team. And my condolences and heart goes out to Dak Prescott and his family. Man, what an injury. He had a Joe Theismann injury, so to speak. And Joe's was up on the upper leg. Near the shin, but this was the ankle, and it was a dislocation and compound fracture, which is just gnarly because you have tendons there and tendons torn, and now he has to have a halo around his ankle to keep it together, and the bone has to heal. It's going to be a long recovery. I mean, it's just a long recovery. When Joe Theismann was around, and that's when the cars were like Flintstone cars. People had cars and they stopped their car with their feet, and they, it's way back then with their leather helmets and and anyway, I mean, wow, what an injury! It's just sad. It's sad to see some great talent like Dak Prescott go down like that. Think about it, guys. Think about it. I mean, Alex Smith took 2 years to come back, and he's literally half the man that he was before. I mean, try to get out of the pocket. I mean, he came back last week. Kyle Allen got hurt, and they had sent Dwayne Haskins down to third string. I think it's the end of the road for Dwayne Haskins. I didn't like him last year, and I certainly don't like him this year. And I've always said that I think he's not really a starting quarterback in the NFL. I think he would be possibly a good backup, but now he's a third string quarterback on the Washington football team. Think about that, guys. The Washington football team. I mean, they're not that good. They just aren't. And your third string on a not that good football team? It's ugly. And Alex Smith, I mean, what a comeback story that was. I mean, his leg shattered and, just came back. But like I said, he's half the man, unfortunately, and meaning half the player. He's all man, that's for sure. But Kyle Allen will be starting this week for the Washington football team. So, it's going to be an interesting game. Kyle Allen back. What a devastating injury for Dak Prescott. My prayers and everything goes out to him, that's for sure. All right, guys, let's get on with it. How about you, football nuts? We have the Broncos against the Patriots in Foxborough. I mean, that's going to be an exciting game. so to speak. Cam Newton will be back, but the New England Patriots offense, they look stagnant. They just don't look good at all. They backup quarterbacks, kind of Hoyer looked terrible. Stenham looked even worse. And, Cam Newton, he brings some zest to that team, but it's the same offense from last year, so to speak. And it's sad, guys. It's sad. That's the reason why Tom left. And their offense looks, just blah. And their defense is going to have to come through. This is going to be, one of those hard defensive games. I think the Patriots' defense will look great against the Broncos. Now, I don't know if Melvin Gordon is going to be playing even. He just was caught driving DUI with he was 25 miles over his speed limit. And it's not good, guys. It's not good. And I don't know if the NFL is going to suspend him for this game or not. I don't think they will, because you can't. He's not guilty. He hasn't been arraigned yet. He has just been charged this. So I don't think the NFL will, sit him down for this week. I think they'll let the process, go out, and then let's see what happens. But I think Melvin Gordon will probably be starting this week. And the Broncos are just hurt, and they have just a very weak offense without Drew Lock. I was really excited in the beginning of the season for the Broncos. I thought they had a great team, Lock and Sutton and everyone going down with injuries. It's sad. It's sad. This is going to be a tough game. Everyone's saying, New England's going to win, blah, 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 And I think there's going to be an upset in this game. I think the Broncos are going to beat New England. I think they will. I just, something about it, I feel like the Broncos are going to win this game. I'm going to give this to the Broncos in Foxborough. I think they'll go in, and it'll be an incredibly ugly game, and the Broncos will win by a point. The next game, we have the Texans, who just won their first game, going against the 4-0 Titans. Titans look just phenomenal. They took the Bills, and they, looked like the Bills was the one with 2 weeks off, and the Titans just look great. Their defense and their offense just clicked. The Texans are just, they just came off a win, and they're flying high, and the Titans are flying high 4-0, and they're at home. I know that doesn't give them much of an advantage, but I'm gonna call the Titans in this one. I think the Titans might be. I know they're heading to the playoffs. They could be heading to the championship game, maybe even the Super Bowl. We'll see. But they have a really, really good team. Very good team. We have the high-flying Browns going against the Steel Town. Oh, my God. Just Ben looked phenomenal. And the Browns have been looking great. This is going to be a great game, because the Steelers' defense is going to have to hold back the Browns' offense. And that Browns' offense is just potent. It's just, wow. And Baker Mayfield's playing really good. It's in Pittsburgh. Not much going on with the home teams, because, virtually no fans. No fans to, virtual no fans. And the Browns coming into Pittsburgh, flying high, 4-1, Pittsburgh 4-0. This is going to be a tough game. Tough game. I'm not a big Baker Mayfield fan, but I am a Ben Roethlisberger fan. I just think Ben's just great. Connors, They have some weapons, don't they? I mean, come on. We have Juju Smith-Schuster. And then you have Dante Johnson. You have Ray McLeod. You have James Washington, DeAndre Tompkins. And how about Mr. Chase Claypool with 4 touchdowns last week? Wow. I mean, a rookie. I mean, this kid is just lights out. And Juju, I mean, this is going to be one heck of a game for Pittsburgh and Browns. For Pittsburgh to remain undefeated, they're going to have to really step up their game. Because this Cleveland Brown team is for real. They are for real. I mean, really for real. The Steelers, wow. I mean, they're 4-0 for the first time in a long time, 4-0. So, did you hear about Le'Veon Bell being released by the New York Jets? I guess they tried to trade him, and they didn't have any takers, so they just released him. But, man, they still have to pay all that money. So, wow. The Jets releasing. I mean, the Jets' offense is just terrible, guys. It's terrible. I mean, it is, bad. And that's a good pickup. I could just see him going to, Baltimore. That would be an awesome pick. Get a team that actually has an offensive line that's going to block for you. Maybe the Indianapolis Colts. That would be a great team for them him to hop on. And possibly the LA Rams. How about that? That would be kind of interesting. LA Rams, maybe even the Buffalo Bills. And please don't make it the Kansas City Chiefs, because I will freak out if they get him. I see him can go anywhere. I mean, other than, I don't think the Dolphins, the Bears, the Panthers, maybe the Panthers. They're doing okay without, McCaffrey, and they're 3-2. And the Colts 3-2. The Bengals, they're deep. Their offensive line, I wouldn't want to go to an offensive line like them. The 1-3 Lions should be actually 2-2 Lions. I'm going to say the 2-2 Lions because Swift dropped a pass in the end zone with 6 seconds left. They should have beat the Bears. And that, the Washington, I wouldn't, if I was Le'Veon Bell, I wouldn't want to go to any other team other than a contender. Maybe the Patriots. But the Patriots, I don't think that would be a good fit. Belichick, nah. It's going to be interesting. It will be interesting. So let's talk about this game. The Browns are going into Steeltown, and they're going to face the Steelers. It's going to be a close game, guys. I'm going to give this one to the Browns. Believe it or not. And maybe a minor upset, if you could say. The Browns over the Steelers. The next game, we have the Ravens on track. They just got back on track last week. They made the Bengals look silly. If you had the Ravens defense on your fantasy football team last week, you were screaming and hooting and hollering. They had scored 26 points in fantasy football. So that's a good team. And, you have the Eagles. The Eagles are limping. They're just limping. But, Carson Wentz he's this guy. And if you keep this game close, Carson Wentz will find a way to win. I'm telling you, he will find a way to win. And so the Ravens cannot keep this game close. They cannot. They need to really pull away in this game early and stay, and just rely on that defense to stop Wentz. And, I would like to see the Ravens, offense clicking a little bit better than they have been. That's what I want to see in this game. And I'm going to give this to the Baltimore Ravens over the Eagles. in Philadelphia, Philly will end up 1-4-1. Okay, the next game, wow. You have Kyle Allen or Smith against Mr. Jones's New York Giants, who are 0-5. Ugly, 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 and ugly against the Washington football team. Who, I don't know, Kyle Allen, it's so ugly to watch. It's so boring, And then you have Jones on the other hand. He's a gunslinger, but man, the Giants, the offensive line can't hold anyone together. And then you have Chase Young on the other side. He's back. He's going to play. He hasn't been playing like he was in the first 2 games, but he was hurt. But man, this is an ugly, ugly game. Very ugly. I think the Washington football team will go into the Giants MetLife Stadium and the Giants will take their first game of the season. They look good against Dallas. They look good. They hung in there and Dallas, won. But I think the New York Football Giants will definitely win this game and be 1-5, along with the Washington football team 1-5. The next game, we have an 0-5 Falcons going into the 1-4 Minnesota Vikings. I just can't believe Minnesota's 1-4. That's just insane. And it's more insane is the 0-5 Falcons. The Falcons, they have absolutely no defense whatsoever, and the Vikings defense is terrible. Vikings did look good last week. I see the Vikings winning at home in this game. Falcons they're one of those teams that they can just explode because of all their talent. But I just think they'll probably remain winless at the end of this game. Ugly, ugly game. Next game we have is the Lions going into the Jags. Lions should be 2-2. They're not really 1-3. They should, to me, they're 2-2. And the Jags 1-4. Minshew. I think the Lions are better than their record. The Lions are going to win this game. They're going to beat Jacksonville. Jacksonville's going to end up 1-5. We got the next game. And the Bengals looked terrible against the Ravens, and they just couldn't do anything against that defense. And they got to go into Indianapolis against another great defense. Wow. And Indianapolis 3-2, Bengals 1-3-1. And I feel sorry for Burrows. Burrows is he's just not... I don't know. I feel sorry for him. He's always running for his life. Anyway, Colts in this one. They'll be 4-2. It's good. Bengals are going to keep it close. Surprising. But Rivers and company are going to pull this one out. Rivers is going to have one heck of a game. If you have Rivers, or if you don't have Rivers, go out and get him. Play him for this game. He's going to have a huge game. Huge, huge game. And we have the Chicago Bears 4-1. They should be really 3-2 against the Panthers 3-2. Hey, all I'm saying is the Lions and Bears, when Swift missed the pass that was right in his hands, wasn't diving, he was just running, and it wasn't like he was running hard either. And ball hit him right in the hands, and he just planned out, dropped it. So embarrassing. And so they should be 3-2. And the Panthers 3-2. Panthers, Teddy Bridgewater. How about Teddy? What a comeback story that is. Tell you. He had a horrific knee injury and just came back. And wow. On the Panthers 3-2. After, their star running back goes down. McCaffrey goes down for the year. and they're 3-2 still. Just think if they had them. Wow, it'd be a different story. But I'm telling you, Teddy Bridgewater, the Bears. I just don't believe in the Bears. I know they beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers by 1 point. Wow, hats off, and they've been playing better defense. Panthers is as I think what's going to prevail in this game. The Panthers have some people around them that can really play well in offense and in defense. But the Bears' defense is becoming really, good lately. They looked great against the Bucs. They held Brady and company in check, and they have a lot of talent. They have more talent on the wideouts and everything than the Panthers, but a couple people were hurt. We have O.J. Howard, he's down for the count this year, and we have Scotty Miller has been hurt, and Evans has been limping, and Godwin was out. So they had some guys out. So I think that gave it to the Chicago Bears more than everything. The injuries and people being out, and people not being 100%. That's for sure. And so, anyway, this is a tough game to call. Really tough game to call. I'm going to give this one to the Chicago Bears because the way they played last week. Hopefully they'll play again. Their defense will play better, like they did last week. They'll keep the Panthers down. Their offensive gem of Montgomery looked great last week. Scored like 18 points in fantasy football. So I would give this one to the Bears. I think it'll be a low-scoring game. Bears will prevail. We have the 0-5 Jets going into the 2-3 Dolphins. I called the upset of the week was Miami over the San Francisco 49ers. I called that game. I told it was a lock. A lock. A lock. I knew it. And this one is more of a lock. The Dolphins over the Jets. The Jets are terrible. Just terrible. I feel sorry. And they're going into Miami. Miami's tough, guys. They're going to be 3-3 after this. And I tell you, Fitzpatrick looks good. Looks very good. Then we have one of the late games at 1:25 on Sunday. We have, what a great game this one is. This is going to be one heck of a game right here. This is going to be the Green Bay Packers against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Tampa. So it's going to be a little bit warmer, the temperature-wise. And the Green Bay Packers are not so used to playing such warm temperatures. And same with the Jets, against the Miami Dolphins. So this is going to be an interesting game, guys. Interesting game. Everyone's calling, Green Bay in this one. I have a lot of people talking about that. But, after Tommy's debacle last week and the embarrassment level and him getting beat or their team getting beat by the Chicago Bears and they weren't clicking. And Jones has been clicking for sure. And I tell you, the Green Bay Packers they're good, but they've always been really. They were like this last year with a running team, which Tampa Bay last two games, 100 yards games by Jones. I told everyone about Jones. Pick him up on your fantasy football league. I just actually traded for the Green Bay Packer, Mr. Green Bay Packer himself, Aaron Rodgers, in one of my fantasy football leagues. And I gave away Michael Thomas. And I know, but I have CeeDee Lamb. I have a few other wideouts that I'm happy with, like Brown from Tennessee. So I needed a quarterback, and I had Hebert. I picked him up last week. I played him. He scored some great points, but he's not going to be always consistently scoring great points. He's a rookie, But I'm telling you, Hebert, he is good. And I think he's going to be another Mahomes. That kid is good. Him, and then Josh Allen and Mahomes, those three, their arms are just impressive. Impressive. So this is going to be an interesting game. Green Bay's going down into Tampa. Green Bay's good. They have, just not, Aaron Rodgers. They have Aaron Jones, and they have Mr. Adams, and they have the new tight end. He's just amazing. Tonran, that kid, Robert Tonyan is just, he's just good. He's good. He scored, four or five touchdowns this year already. The kid is just on fire, people, on fire. So it's going to be a tough one. I don't know. The Bucks can keep up with the scoring of Mr. Rodgers. That whole team's been clicking. Clicking. And Tampa Bay, they show some signs of greatness and stuff. But I don't know. They're still filling each other out. This is going to be a tough game for Tampa to win. I think this is a must game for Tampa to win. A must game. And I really do. And I hate to bet against Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers. How can you bet against that too? But I think this might be one of Aaron's down games, so to speak. Maybe the whole team. Aaron Jones, he's great. I don't know, guys. This is a toss-up game for me. It's either or. I like both Rodgers and Brady, and I think they're going to have. It's just going to be a very, very high scoring game. They're going to go at each other's throat, and the Green Bay Packers are going to remain undefeated, and Tampa Bay is going to go to 3-3. Green Bay in this game, but it's going to be an exciting game. It's probably the most exciting game of the weekend. We have the next game, the Rams, 4-1, looking like the Rams that went to the Super Bowl, and I just love them. They just look so good. Goff looks good. Another great performance at Goff last week. They have Woods, Cooper Kupp. You have they're using 2 or 3 different running backs. The team looks good. And Higbee, the tight end, looks great. Everett looks good. And I'm telling you, Aaron Donald. The guy's a wrecking ball, and it's his best year so far, I think. And that defense, San Francisco 49ers couldn't, they just got beat by the Miami Dolphins, and they couldn't keep the Dolphins defense out of the backfield of the San Francisco 49ers, and, Jimmy Garoppolo had no time. It was terrible to watch if you're a 49er fan. This game is going to be very similar, and they need to bring back Jimmy G back when he's fully healthy, because when you have a high ankle sprain, that just lasts for at least 2 or 3 months. And I played with one before, and it's painful, and they shoot it up, and man, it's just so painful, and you're not yourself. You just aren't, guys. You can't. I saw him last week. He wasn't stepping into the ball. He was being rushed on almost every drop back pass. He was being rushed. Their running offense looked terrible. It's just the 49ers. They need to. You know what they need to do? They need to get Deebo Samuels involved with their offense on this game. I think they will. I think they'll probably get Deebo. If you have Deebo Samuels on your fantasy football team, play him. He's going to have a huge game. The Rams in this one, they're playing, up in Candlestick. It's not Candlestick, but up in San Francisco. It's going to be a tough game. I like both teams. I really do. I don't really like San Francisco at this moment in time. I think they're too hurt. and I think the Rams are flying high. But, sometimes the Rams, the only bad thing about the Rams, they lay an egg sometimes. Are they going to lay an egg on this one? Are they going to open the door for San Francisco? Is San Francisco going to come alive? Are there offense? There's a lot of question marks in San Francisco, and there's only one or two question marks for the Rams. So I'm going to give this to the Rams over San Francisco 49ers. Sorry, 49ers fans. I know I called the game last week of the upset special of the week, and I was right, and, better luck. I think maybe, just maybe, the San Francisco 49ers will limp into the playoffs. But they still have a chance, even if they lose this game. So I'm picking the Rams over the 49ers. We have two Monday Night Football games. We have the Kansas City Chiefs, who just got beat, against the Buffalo Bills, who just got beat. So they're both 4-1. This is an interesting game, very interesting game. You have the Kansas City Chiefs that really haven't looked all that Kansas City Chiefish for the last two games. They really haven't. They sluggish in a way. I think maybe defenses are getting their schemes and they're knowing what they're doing, and seems like they're really defensing well and keeping them under 30 points, like the New England Patriots kept them under 30. So the Buffalo Bills look horrendous against the Saints, and I think Buffalo's going to bounce back on this one, and this is an important game for Buffalo, an important game for Kansas City. But Kansas City and Buffalo, I really think Buffalo's going to pull this one out. Yeah, this is going to be another upset that I'm calling right now. The Buffalo Bills of the Kansas City Chiefs in Buffalo on Monday Night Football, the first Monday night game, and then that starts at 2 o'clock Pacific time, and then you have the second Monday night game starting at 5:15 Pacific time, and would be the Cardinals, Arizona Cardinals, going into Dallas and playing the 2-3 Dallas Cowboys. Now the Cardinals are 3-2, and the Cowboys 2-3. They don't have Dak Prescott, unfortunately. I think Ezekiel Elliott is going to need to just step up in this game. He's going to. And then you have Chandler Jones, who's out for the year on the Cardinals. That's a huge loss for the Cardinals. One of the top, rusher, and a guy who led the league last year in sacks. And this guy's really good, and to lose one of the best sack experts in the NFL, to lose him, that's a big loss, especially against the Cowboy team. Even though it's Dalton throwing the ball, still you have the Cowboys, they're just loaded with talent. And, the Cardinals, they're going to, that Dallas defense, I don't know how they're going to defense against Kyler Murray and D-Hop, and, go on and on with that team too. So it's going to be a tough game. It's going to be high scoring. It's going to be a fun game. It's going to be like a track meet. And this game's going to be insane. It's going to be like 48-42 or something like that. It's going to be huge. It's going to be like 90 points scored in this game. And this is going to be an exciting game. The Cardinals 3-2, the boys 2-3. Boys, they're playing from the heart on this one. I think the boys are going to be it's going to be a good game. They're always playing tough. They're scoring a lot of points because their defense is allowing a lot of points. And the Cardinals just bounced back last week after 2 losses in a row. Finally, they came back and they won. So I'm going to give this one to the Cardinals. The Arizona Cardinals on maybe, could you consider it an upset? I don't know who's really, let's find out. That's it. Dallas is favored by 2.5 points. So this is an upset I'm calling. Arizona over Dallas. They will probably beat them. I think they'll beat them more than 2.5 points. I think they'll probably beat them by maybe a field goal or even maybe 6 points. I think the Arizona Cardinals will prevail in this one. So there you go, guys. You have everyone if you have fantasy football. Your fantasy football teams. Start whoever you have on the Cardinals. Start them. Same with the Cowboys. The Buffalo Bills, Kansas City Chiefs, you got to start all those guys. I mean, it could be a high-scoring game, could be a low-scoring game. I think it will be probably in the 30s. I think the Buffalo Bills are going to prevail in this one. I think they're going to come back, and Mr. Josh Allen's going to look great. And then, start everyone on the Los Angeles Rams. San Francisco 49ers, maybe Deebo Samuels, start him. Mozart, you got to start him. And that's about it. Maybe Kittle, of course, start him. And, I think the Rams defense, start them if you have the Rams defense. The Green Bay Packers with the Bucks, start both teams' offenses. This is going to be a high-scoring game. It's going to be fun to watch. And we have the Miami Dolphins start everyone on their team and maybe even start their defense against the Jets. The Jets are just horrendous. And Fitzpatrick's going to have a heck of a game. Same with Parker. And we have the next game. It's going to be a defensive game. The Chicago Bears and the Panthers going to be totally defense. So either I think the Chicago Bears defense, start them. Maybe Montgomery. It's going to be a tough game. Like I said, low-scoring game. So maybe a Montgomery and the Bears defense start. We have the Bengals and the Colts. Colts defense are just amazing. Start Phillip Rivers in this game. He's going to have a huge game. And then we have the Lions going into the Jags. Minshew against Stafford. Stafford is going to win this one. And Stafford is going to have a huge game in this one. We have the Falcons against the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings look great. Even though they're not going to have Dalvin Cook, they still look good. And they looked better last week. So I was impressed. Falcons I haven't been impressed with. So, you can start some of the Falcon players, that's for sure. They have Ridley, Jones. They have a lot of great players. Gurley. It's going to be a good game. It's going to be a good, fun game to watch. High scoring. The next game, it's ugly. Ugly. If you have any one on maybe Gibson on Washington football team, Slayton on the Giants. They've been trying to get the tight end Ingram involved. I think he'll be involved more. Start him if you have him. And then you have the Ravens against the Eagles. Start the Ravens defense, that's for sure. Everyone on the Ravens, start them. I don't see the Eagles giving this a game. I really don't. I hope the Ravens just play lights out in this game. I think they will. And then the Browns and Steelers, that everyone thinks the Steelers are going to, I think this is going to be somewhat of a high-scoring game. I really do. So if you have Browns players and Steelers players, start them. The Titans against the Texans, and even though the Texans won last week, the Titans look so good in their running game, and start everyone on the Titans. And I think maybe Watson's gonna, he's gonna have. You can't hold him down. He's gonna have a good game. Fuller's gonna have a good game. David Johnson will probably have a good game as well. I think it'll be an exciting game. This one right here. Like I said, the upset special of the week. The Broncos over the New England Patriots. It's going to be an ugly game. So ugly that you're probably going to sleep watching it. And I think the Broncos are going to upset the Patriots. Anyway, thank you for tuning in Thursday. October 15th, 2020. Thursday Night Football with Calvin Dean. See you next Thursday night. Sponsored by the NFL Network. And thank you once again, guys, for my hat. I love this crucial catch hat. I love it. Man, lights out, people. Lights out. Thank you. Until next week, have a great week. Be safe, everyone. Wear those masks, social distance.